Alrighty, so welcome back to the supernatural build. I think this one's going to be a little different. I thought we were going to get into the body on this one. We are going to mix it up just a little bit. I think what I'm going to do here is we're going to dive a little bit in here to the audio and the lighting, because it's something I haven't actually dealt with before. And this is going to be a new system, so we're going to kind of learn this together as we go. And I'm going to try to keep the car really clean with wiring, just keep it a very neat layout. It's not going to be a performance car, but I want it to look good when it's all done. This one's pretty much more about the presentation and how everything's going to be. So we're starting off with this. Get it to focus in here. You can kind of see it's from Integy. It's a GT Power light system. It has sounds, lighting, all kinds of good stuff on here. So let me kind of scoot the car back here a little bit. Let's open this up, see what we're going to have. I haven't really dove into this at all, so I have no idea. So it's kind of like the brain unit here. Shows basically all your plugs and stuff are on here. A lot going on here. So there's quite a few different hookups for different controls. So we're going to try to figure out what those all do. Some of the hardware in here. Wow, a lot of different cabling going on here. First thing that jumps out is the speaker. We're gonna have to find home for all this stuff. It's actually a little bigger than I thought it was gonna be. So this might be difficult to find a home for, but hopefully bigger speaker means bigger sound, better sound. I guess we'll find out. And then we have all kinds of LEDs. This is the other part too, before I dove into the body. We wanna see what LEDs we have in case I need to add any others or get any additional ones before I do the body. I just want to make sure I have enough LEDs in the appropriate colors, and appropriate sizes. So I may need to change some of these around a bit, which is fine. I do have some extra LEDs as well. The body that I have doesn't really have provisions for LEDs, so we're gonna have to make that as well when we get to the body. But it looks like we got quite a few different LEDs. They're all marked what color they are. Looks like there's some 5mm, some 3mm in here as well. Some extra cabling. I believe this is the program cable, because you can get in here. Program sounds on this thing, I believe. Like I said, this is all new. And a T-tap for the power system. I think I'm gonna do this a little different. I don't like this big lunky thing. Again, we're trying to keep this clean, so I think we're gonna snip this off and we're gonna wire this in just a little bit different, which is what we're gonna get into in this video. Figuring it out roughly where we're gonna go, how it's all gonna fit, try to get the wiring cleaned up, and then get a first taste of what it's gonna sound like, what it's gonna look like. So I'm gonna set this stuff aside. We're gonna try to figure out this mess, how it's gonna fit, where it's gonna go. We are gonna have to figure out, I think the ESC, I shouldn't have secured it in place yet. I should have just laid it in place. I got a little ahead of myself on that one. I'm gonna pull this out. I think we're just gonna kind of play around with some locations here a little bit and see what I can come up with. So I'm gonna throw it. Okay, I think I have a tentative game plan here. Gonna sit the ESC in a little different. Receiver should tuck in here. Rather than use connectors on the ESC to motor, I think we're gonna cut these off. It's gonna clean all this stuff off. We're gonna cut these down, solder them up, tuck them in. Speaker, I think, is gonna sit fairly nicely right here. We're gonna change out this white Tamiya end for an EC3, one of the blue ends. I have a battery that's gonna work for this. I think that's gonna work better. And then I'll be able to wire the power in, cut this T-tap out, wire that in. And then the only thing left is the brain portion. I wanna keep everything tucked down low. So on the battery cover here, this comes off. I think what I'm gonna do, let's take this off here. I think what I'm gonna do, you can kind of see on the side here, it's got a pretty good height on it. I think right in the middle of it, we're gonna Dremel this down, get this to sit right inside here real nice and easy, and then I can just take that off, lift to the side, put the battery in, and then should be good to go. That should keep that pretty nice and clean. Wiring should be cleaned up, and then I can plug the lights in just to get an idea of how that's gonna work. And then we'll be able to figure it all out from there. But I think that's the tentative game plan, and we're gonna go from there. There you go. Hope you heard that little click. Now we have a little bit nicer T-harness here. That'll just plug right into the battery. This is just going to go right to the main module. So I'm going to get on soldering up all the rest of this stuff. And well, it's a bit of a mess right at the moment, but it's functional. That's all I wanted to make sure everything worked before I went and did everything here. Just kind of laid the lights out here so we could see that the lights were working and everything was actually functioning as supposed to. So we'll have to go through and choose some sounds, but when I turn my radio on, we turn this guy on, everything powers up, hit the throttle just a little bit. Adjust the volume, steering, I have some turn signals. You can see those lights flashing on there. I don't think these are on the screen here. So, and if I stop, I do have some backup lights as well that are coming on for reverse lights, so everything's kind of functioning. Proof of the concept is done, so now we'll clean it all up and let's see what we end up with. And then the sound system should be done. The hard part will be the lights in the body, but that'll be the future video. So let's get this all cleaned up. All right, well, we have the whole setup here. You can kind of see it kept the wiring nice and clean. That way nothing gets caught anywhere. Well organized. Just there's gonna be more wires once I get the lights hooked up. They're actually gonna all be in here. But I got a plan for that to make it easy to get the body on and off with one single connector. And I think it's gonna work out pretty well to make everything just real simple. But basically, turn your radio on, turn this on. And if I just barely tap the throttle a little bit here on the radio, give it a little turn. Here it should be for the turn signals. However, basically I don't have any lights hooked up, so you don't see that visually yet, but we gotta go through the sounds. We'll try a couple different ones, and I think when the body shell's on, it's gonna sound a little bit better too. So that's it for now. The instructions are a little odd to read through on this thing. Maybe I'll go through and do a review or something on this a little bit later, but yeah, so we'll see how that goes. The instructions just weren't well translated, I don't think, so it took a little bit of figuring out, but overall, pretty happy with it. Sounds good. So that's it for this one. Now the next one we can get into doing the body, cutting that out, and making this thing look like it's supposed to be. So thanks for watching on this one. We're gonna see you in the next one, and keep going out and doing your thing. Peace.